What is the Nikon D5300? The Nikon D5200 was, and still is, a successful upper entry-level DSLR that offers an appealing combination of a solid imaging specification with good build quality at a price that keeps it in reach of entry-level upgraders. The D5300 looks to further expand the feature set with the new addition of Wi-Fi functionality, as well as a newly developed sensor and several other tweaks. With the D5200 impressing so much, the question is whether the D5300 improvements will be particularly keenly felt. Let's take a closer look and see if we can find out. Nikon D5300 Features. Although the Nikon D5300 does feature some eye-catching areas of improvement, it shares a lot its specification with its predecessor. For example, it features the same 39-point f system as seen in the D5200, a system that utilizes the Multicam 4800DXF sensor module. This setup incorporates 9 cross-type f-points which, thanks to 3D focus tracking, should cope well with moving subjects. A further improvement could have been made via the adoption of the D7100's 51-point f system, although the 39-point f system is certainly in line with competing DSLRs. The D5300 also features the same Speed 4 image processing engine, although the lack of development here isn't particularly surprising owing to the fact that the D5200 was one of the first Nikon DSLRs to feature the newly developed processor. As a result of it featuring the same processor, the D5300 maintains the same headline continuous shooting rate of 5 fps. The D5300 also relies upon Nikon's trusty 2016 pixel metering setup, which is paired with Nikon's scene recognition system to ensure even exposures in a variety of shooting conditions. So far, so similar, although when you look towards the camera's connectivity you'll notice some major improvements. Where it was previously the case that you would have to purchase a separate adapter to give the D5200 Wi-Fi functionality, the D5300 now features an inbuilt Wi-Fi receiver. As a result, you can wirelessly transfer images from the camera to a smartphone or tablet, as well as control the camera wirelessly using the free app. The D5300 sensor is another area that sees improvements, as although it features the same 24.2 MP resolution, as well as retaining the APS-C dimensions, the sensor itself sees the removal of its anti-alias filter. As a result, the D5300 should deliver even better levels of sharpness and clarity in comparison to its predecessor. This new sensor also features a larger ISO range, covering 112,800 as opposed to 100,6400. Finally, the Nikon D5300 features an improved LCD screen, which now measures in at 3.2 inches and boasts a resolution of 1037K dots. One noticeable oversight, and one that could really count against it, is that the screen is still lacking in touchscreen functionality. Nikon D5300 Design. On the whole, the D5300 continues the design trend of the D5000 series, being slightly larger than the standard entry-level models yet smaller than the D7100, for example. It's not a total doppelganger for its predecessor, however, as the D5300 feels slightly more compact than the D5200 thanks to a more angular body. Thanks to the fact that the D5300 has a larger screen than the D5200, there's less real estate on the back of the camera. As a result, the buttons below the screen are a touch smaller than before, but this isn't to the great detriment of the feel of the camera. In fact, Nikon has repositioned both the D-pad controls and the playback button to incorporate a new larger thumb rest, and as a result the camera actually handles better than before. One feature that was absent on the D5200 and is still missing from the D5300 is a secondary command dial. Although more high-end Nikon models have this feature as standard, it's possible that space constraints have led to its omission on the D5000 series to date. As a result, if you want to change secondary shooting controls, such as aperture in manual mode, you'll have to make do with a combination of the exposure compensation button and the rear scroll dial. Although this isn't the most difficult combination, it would be much better if you had a secondary command dial, and this is a feature that several competing models boast. The D5300 feels solid in the hand thanks to good build quality, and despite not feeling any less robust than its predecessor, it's some 20 grams lighter. Nikon D5300 Performance. The general level of performance, as you'd expect from a camera that inherits a lot of its functionality and specification from the Nikon D5200, is impressive. The focus system offers a good number of f-points which themselves offer a good range of coverage across the frame, something which can't always be said of competing DSLRs. This level of coverage results in some impressive focusing speeds, although there is a slight tendency to slow in low lighting conditions. That being said, the 3D tracking mode is a highlight, managing to maintain sharp images throughout a continuous burst of images. One area in which f-performance is a touch disappointing is if you're shooting in live view. Owing to the fact that the D5300 relies upon contrast detect f for live view, and thus has to flip the mirror out of the way to lock focus, the whole process is sluggish and somewhat disappointing. Nikon D5300 Image quality. Although the Nikon D5300 sensor is the same size and resolution as the D5200's, the removal of the anti-alias filter, along with several performance modifications, result in a better overall level of performance. One particular area for improvement is the camera's performance at higher ISO settings, with the D5300 superior in both RAW and JPEG files. The performance is so good that there's very little evidence of color noise until you reach ISO 6400, and even then both ISO 3200 and 6400 are certainly